called the overhead squat. It's a great functional exercise that creates strength in the lower body as well as the upper body. It promotes balance and stability, especially in the shoulder joint, and it looks really cool to do. So I've got my assistant here. Lily's going to hop in. We're going to take her through this exercise as if it's her first time, and just kind of breaking down some of the major points of emphasis on this movement. So, step one here with your overhead squat is you're grabbing the barbell at what we call your snatch width grip. So go ahead and grab what you think your snatch width grip is. Just stand up in a relaxed position. So we know that she's in her snatch width grip if the barbell is resting at her belt line when she's in a relaxed position. So maybe a smidge wider for her. Yep, good. So from there, what we actually are going to do is just bring it up and behind your head on your traps here. So just resting in that position so we can just kind of relax a second. Next what she's going to do is go up into the overhead locked out position. Her elbows are going to lock out. She's going to shrug her shoulders up and externally rotate at the arm joint so that her elbow is pointing down at the ground instead of being pointed back. So we're just going to go ahead and pop up into that position. Big shrug, shrug your shoulders up. And we want to be able to maintain this position. This is the hardest part for a lot of people. If they're not lacking mobility, it's being able to hold this. Breathe, breathe. Yes, very good. We're going to externally rotate a little bit. And so you notice that bar kind of shifted back. That happens a lot for people. That bar naturally shifts back as they externally rotate at that elbow. Shrug it up. You can see it slowly starts to fall. Go ahead and rest on the shoulders again. Alright, so that's that overhead locked out position there. Shoulders are shrugged, arms are externally rotated, right? It's a tough position to maintain, so it's something that you really got to practice, just literally holding it in the locked out position. So that's kind of step one. You can't do anything else without that, alright? Step two is to simply perform a squat with that position locked in. So just reviewing a squat, remember your feet are shoulder width apart. You're going to initiate with your hips back, then down, but instead of really sitting your hips back, you're going to reach your hips for your ankles and drive your knees out. Real big emphasis of importance here on the overhead squat is keeping this torso from hip to shoulder joint as upright as possible. If we have a big forward pitch in that torso, it's going to make life miserable when we're in that bottom position of that overhead squat. So we're going to have you press up, big shrug, rotate, squeeze that bar tight for me. So wrap your hand all the way around it. Alright, our feet are about shoulder width, that looks good. We're going to watch her initiate. Let me see 3 of your most virtuous, beautiful overhead squats. Go ahead. Good. 1. As low as you can go, maintaining that good position. 2. And 3. Bring it behind your neck for me. Turn your face this way. Press it back up. 3 of your most virtuous air squats, or overhead squats. Good. 1, 2, 3. You can rest. You can set that bar down. Good. Alright. So you can see she's not lacking any mobility. She's able to squat to full depth, keep her torso upright, keep that bar locked out overhead. Overall, pretty good. One thing I did notice, did you notice anything as you went? Your shoulders, and this is very common for beginners or people who haven't spent a lot of time working on the overhead squat. After that first rep, our shoulders immediately start to sag or start to drop. We don't have that shrugged position anymore. We want to maintain that position the entire time, not just at the beginning. What this does when we shrug our shoulders and externally rotate is it creates what's called torque in the shoulder joint. It just creates more stability in that shoulder joint for you to keep a heavier load overhead or a lighter load for maximum reps. So there you have it. That's the overhead squat, talking about the overhead locked out position. We did mention that it takes a lot of mobility to be able to perform it properly. And if you're lacking mobility in any one of multiple areas, whether it be the ankle, the hip, the shoulder, or the thoracic spine, it can really put you into compromising positions and make basically your life miserable when you're trying to overhead squat. So what we're going to do next is come at you with some videos on if you have lacking mobility in any of those areas, some nice mobility drills that you can perform to get that mobility in that area up to par so that you can perform this exercise properly. That's it for today. Thanks for stopping by.